tungkol dun sa post namin on Apo Whang and the NAS Academy. So let me explain. Kasi ang daming na obsess. You keep telling me na paano yun, nag-enter into contact and people are talking about wala siyang lawyer, wala siyang ganito, wala siyang ganyan. And guys, if you took the time out to read yung pinost namin, ang applicable law bago yung kontrata ay yung Indigenous Peoples' Rights Act. Kasi yung IPRA law, yun nga po ang nagpoprotekta sa mga ganyang klaseng cultural manifestations o mga expression ng indigenous peoples. So, si Apo Whang obviously is from that, is an IP, galing siya sa, nandyan siya sa community, dun po siya nakatira sa ancestral domain. So, maraming protective mechanisms. In fact, andyan yung Indigenous Peoples' Rights Act at nandyan yung NCIP. So, anong issue dito? Ang sinasabi ng grandniece ni Madam, ni Apo Whang is that she did not enter into any agreement with NAS Academy. So, alam na natin lahat yung facts dito, but let's restate them. Itong NAS Academy or NAS Daily si NAS ay isang vlogger. He's very famous, marami siyang following. Now, meron siyang parang NAS Academy where he gets different people to teach certain things or certain skills at for a fee. Okay, for some reason nakapunta sila sa area ni Apo at na-convince siya one way or another para supposedly magturo kung paano ginagawa yung kanyang tattooing technique, and we assume pati yung ibang mga designs. Ito yung problema. Although Apo Whang is the artist here, dahil member siya ng indigenous cultural community at yung tattooing ay isang traditional art or craft doon sa community niya, protected po sila ng Indigenous Peoples' Rights Act. Yung Indigenous Peoples' Rights Act, pinoprotektahan yan pati dances, songs, chants, mga ganyan, pati design ng kanilang textile. Ngayon, kung hindi nila ine-enforce, it doesn't mean that the law is not in play or cannot be resorted to. So, ang batas dito ay yung IPRA law na nagsasabing kailangan ng free, prior, and informed consent of the community. So, yung mga nagsasabing, paano yun may kontrata, the contract might be only between NAS Daily or NAS Academy and Apo Whang, but the law requires that the community has to give its permission. And you have to prove what is called prior and informed consent. So, how do you prove that? Usually, it's in writing. And of course, you have to prove that it's free, prior, and informed consent. So, yung mga nagwawala tungkol dun sa kontrata, ayan na, pasok na yan. Kasi, the consent has to be informed. Not just by the lawyer, but it has to be explained to her. Now, if the contract is written in a language that is not her own language, and it has to be translated, kailangan ma-certify na it was fully explained to her in a language that she does understand. In fact, her first language. So maraming kailangan patunayan. Yung paglalabas ni NAS ng contract na yon is still subject to verification and does not necessarily protect them. Kasi nga, ang community ang nagbibigay ng consent. Now, sometimes the community can assume to have given consent kung ginawa nilang kinatawan ng community yung artist. So, in that case, yung kontrata itself, by itself, is not presumed valid dahil ang batas dito is the Indigenous Peoples' Rights Act. Pinost po namin yun. So, the reason lang nagla-live ako is kasi nga, sorry hindi po kasi ito scheduled. Kasi nga, ang kulit, hindi ko masagot lahat. Everybody keeps saying, paano yun may kontrata, mauuna po yung batas bago yung kontrata. Hindi necessarily ibig sabihin na may kontrata si Apo, even if she validly entered into the contract, kailangan malaman kung nagbigay yung community ng contract. So, yung apo niya or great niece niya ay nagrereklamo at sinasabing hindi po nabigyan ng valid consent ni Apo Whang yung kontrata na yon. So, that is the issue here. The issue is, did she validly enter into an agreement? Just because there is a written contract here, in this case, because there's the IPRA law, it doesn't mean that that contract is valid. Okay? O so ulitin natin. Doon sa Indigenous Peoples Rights Act, para maging valid yung isang agreement for the use of the manifestations of indigenous culture such as but not limited to its traditional art, kailangan may free, prior, and informed consent ng community. Ngayon, ang daming nagtatanong, makukulong ba yan? Makakasuhan ba yan? Not necessarily. Pero, hindi niya maaaring gamitin. Pwedeng iprotesta yung paggamit ng mga manifestations na ito. Kunwari, they already shot footage and all that. Hindi nila pwedeng gamitin kasi it violates nga the community's rights. So this is a form of intellectual property that is exercised by the community. Okay? So, wag niyo naman po akong kulitin sa sa comment section kasi kung daming nagsasabi no, yun kontrata, yung kontrata, yung kontrata. Everybody's caught up in the contract. The contract might not even be valid. Kasi nga ang governing the law is deemed written into every contract. And so if the contract is against the law, maaaring i-void yung kontrata na yon. We're not even talking about any criminal liabilities here, which I doubt kasi usually sa IPRA yung criminal liabilities attached to those who enter in the ancestral domain ng wala pong pahintulot. Sabi ni Moxan, si Fangod ay nasa 90 years old na, no, she's 104. At di nagsasalita ng Tagalog or English. Konsiderasyon din naman sana na di gano'n na papirmahan agad ng kontrata nang walang legal advice. It isn't even legal advice, guys. Don't get held up into your own interpretations. It should be free, prior, and informed consent. So, ang kailangan patunayan dyan ay informed. Hindi yung represented siya by a lawyer, but that she should have been informed of all her rights. Now, correct, yung iba na it would be good if she had a lawyer with her para maaaring madali mapapatunayan yung free, prior, and informed consent. Pero yun nga, tama kayo na informed consent also means that the contract should have been explained to her in a language that she understands. Okay? Okay, yun, lang, parang na-excite lang kasi yung ibang tao na pati ako inaaway nyo na tungkol dun sa, dun sa pinost namin. Ang sabi namin, may violation dito ng Indigenous Peoples Rights Act. Tapos inaaway nyo ako at sinasabi ninyo may kontrata. Hindi nga po eh. Kaya, huwag nyo naman ako awayin. Nag-ano nga lang eh. Like, I have to turn the phone upside down. Again. Oops, okay. Ay, ano ba to? Mabagal yung phone. Ayan, okay. Alright. Yan, it's easier kasi this way. So, sabi ni Chuck Walker, thank you so much for extra time and efforts to give us clarity on this issue. Opo, well, yan because everybody should understand this. Natanong ni Ophir, can the NHC and CCA sue on behalf of Apo Whang? The community po, and they can act through the NCIP, the National Commission on Indigenous Peoples. And it's headed by Mr. Allen Capuyan. Guys, don't send me links because I cannot follow that while I'm live. You have to tell me what you're trying to say through that link. Nanonood ka kanina ng hindi live na karambola, sabi ni Ruth. Tingnan ko nga lang sana muna ang karambola dito sa Facebook, then nakita ko ngayon live. Grabe, hindi ako na-notify ng Facebook. O nga naman. Ayun, sabi ni BJ Cans, tattoo artist, nakinabang din siya sa popularity. Alright. Ngayon, ang daming nag-a-assume na may jurisdiction ng NCCA dito or NHCP. Hindi po. The NCCA might have a say in it if Apo Whang had been awarded the Gawad Manlilikha ng Bayan Award. Hindi po siya na-awardan nun. And so, walang jurisdiction ang NCCA sa kanya except possibly to help protect Indigenous people's rights through the Subcommission on Cultural Communities and Traditional Arts. What is the possible remedy of the family? Well, they can void the contract. Okay? Sabi ni Jaya, hindi ka inaaway, pinakita lang yung post video nila na may contact sila, pinakita na pinirma si Apo. Hindi kasi nga, Hindi yan yung tinitignan mo na ano na comment eh. May ibang comments na pinipili talaga may kontrata. Okay? But like I said, the reason we posted that is because the law says otherwise. Now, why will you enter into a contract if it is against the law? 'Di ba?